There are a lot of places that people can put ads, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google, Amazon. I mean, there's a ton of places for most businesses. I mean, where are they going to get their biggest bang for a buck?
So that's a really interesting question because we feel like it's shifting. For a long time, we were like all about Facebook and Instagram, and it's still a very big core service that we provide, but definitely looping back to Google. Like Google was a big thing several years ago, becoming pretty big again. And then TikTok now, like the algorithm, some of our clients, they put stuff out and there's just a certain virality about it where they're getting really good returns on the ad spend that we're putting into that platform. There's discussion of like a lot more, but I think that the theme kind of going into 2022 here and potentially beyond is, really making sure that you're not just focused on one channel, one traffic source. So more than ever, I feel like it takes showing up everywhere as opposed to just trying to be a one-trick pony.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I'll go from Google to Facebook to Twitter, and it's like, wow, I got the same ad stalking me. I think they're trying to send me a message like buy me or something. But yeah, it's got so crazy that I recently was like, okay, I'm just gonna download the more privacy centric Brave browser, and I've been using that to stop a little bit of the tracking because I'm a shopaholic. They keep putting ads in front of me that are totally relevant, and then I end up buying all this junk that is kind of cool and that I like, but I don't really need it. So it was kind of a way of me just stepping in and stopping the compulsive purchasing.
Totally. And I think a lot of people are in that same boat, which is making our job a lot more difficult. But I mean, we're not bitter about that, but there's been a lot of moves toward privacy. Look at everything that Apple did, some things that Facebook is doing. And for us, it's difficult. It provides a lot of challenges for us in how we're attributing sales to the things we're doing, really conveying the value of what we do to our clients. But it's also providing us an opportunity to let things get shaken up a little bit. And then we're so committed to it, we know we're going to be able to find, the best way to report everything, the best way to scale everything. But for us right now, it's actually, we're having to do some pretty wild things to be able to do what we do effectively.
Right. Understood. So one of the last questions I wanted to ask you then is, how do you scale an e-commerce site? Okay, we got a lot of people out there that during the pandemic, they kicked off their own e-commerce business, e-commerce site. Us, for example, we have our own coffee brand, Dead House Coffee. Okay, how do you scale it from 10,000 a month to $1 million a month and, scale up to 5, 6, or even 7 figures?
The name of the game, again, is changing, and it is much less about finding one thing that works and that you can just throw all of your budget toward and scale it up, and more about omnipresence and really figuring out, what is my strategy, not just for Facebook and Instagram, but for Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Google,